Right here, at home. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, let's do this. Man, we gonna do 1, 2, 3.
See, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome to the Main Thing Podcast presents. It's your boy, Mr. Owens, and after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
What's going on, Eagles family? This is your man, Big Huss, the one you trust. Bring you all your Philadelphia Eagles latest. Hey, man, we here to tap in with y'all, discuss our latest beatdown of the Dallas Cowboys, where we won 41-7 in a home victory. Eagles have just became the NFC champs. It was a great day, dominant, bully ball all the way around, great coaching. We won the division for the second time and now in 3 years. It's the first time that we swept Dallas now since 2011. And per Jake Robardi, we outscored the Cowboys in this latest sweep, 75-13 this season. It wasn't even close. We were straight getting down, getting busy. They down bad this year. Now, also during this sweep, we've the turnover differential was 9-2. Us forcing Dallas or taking away the ball 9 times. It was just, honestly, the first game we blew them out. I thought this game would have maybe boded a little bit better, but from literally the rip, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, pick 6. He was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had a phenomenal game, 2 interceptions. This is his first time winning that award, and he's now, I believe, one of now 6 safeties, 5 prior to him, who had earned this award as an Eagle. A couple of those names being Brian Dawkins, Malcolm Jenkins, Kurt Coleman, Wes Hopkins. It's really good company. Really, really good company. But not only was it a defensive performance, it was say K, right? Say 2K. Yeah, Saquon eclipsed the 2,000-yard mark. It was a big day, not only for Saquon, but the offensive line, the offense, the coaching staff, becoming the 9th player in NFL history to do so. It was just one of those days where you felt like the Eagles could truly do no wrong. Watching this game, bro, what you take from it? How'd you feel about it?
Before I get into that, Big Huss, I first off want to start and say Happy New Year's to our supporters, our loyal
Very
supporters,
true.
and our new supporters.
Probably should have started there.
Yeah, most definitely, but it's all good, Big Huss. And at this time, if you haven't done so already, make sure y'all subscribe and keep showing this channel some love as we build this community up. But like you said, Big Huss, this was a game for the ages. Per Rube's observations, this is the first time that we have swept Dallas since 2011.
Yep.
That's a crazy stat to me, because I know we always go back and forth with the Cowboys and things like that, but to sweep them, and this being the first time since 2011, is major. And then also, I just want to put into perspective. I know people are saying, "Oh, you guys beat up on the Cowboys. That wasn't a solid win," and things like that. But some stats for you all before you go making assumptions. From weeks 12 through 16, Dallas came in with a 4-1 record. They averaged 27.4 points per game. They only allowed 22.2 points per game, and they had a +8 turnover differential. So Dallas was trending upward. They just, as you said, ran into the bullies in Philadelphia. But some takeaways that I love from this game because is we came in prepared. We came in prepared. We had a mission. We knew that this was a rivalry. We did not let or want Dallas to come in and disrupt what we had going on. I like the fact that we always start off first, no turnovers, because kudos to the team for not turning the ball over at all, playing mistake-free football. I like the fact that we had a game plan and that we stuck to that game plan, even when even with our first offensive possession, we didn't start out too hot. As we talked off camera, because we came out, threw the ball 3 straight times. I was kind of taken back by not giving Saquon the ball. But to your point, because you told me, as a big brother does, hey, that's just Kellen Moore figuring out and filling out the Dallas defense. But overall, solid gameplay, as we always preach and always try to drill in people's heads. We have to work in unison, play group and collective football. The offense was helping the defense was helping the special teams, the coaching was helping putting the players in the best position. So I like definitely what I saw out there. I like that we're trending in the right direction at the right time, especially going into the playoffs. And again, congrats on Saquon breaking the 2,000-yard mark. That is a major accomplishment. A lot of players don't even touch 1,000 yards in a season. So for him to touch 2,000 yards, kudos to him, and especially in his first season with the good guys here in Philadelphia, it was only fitting. But of course, we're going to dive in deeper with the offense and the defense. But what were some of your takeaways, because from this game?
Yeah, no, like I said, dominant win. Quick little stat per Jeff Kerr. The Eagles have reached the Super Bowl every time they finished 13 plus wins in a regular season. So, y'all, we have 13 wins. You feel me? Y'all know what's about to happen. We are on our way. I feel like everything, we're gelling at the right times for real. And what I liked from this Cowboys game is we didn't allow them to come in our house and bully us. We were bullies. We took it to them. It showed the depth that we had at the quarterback position, which is great right now. Interesting to see what they do in the offense. I mean, in the offseason, excuse me. But it looked like a complete win, just all the way around. And I like to see that now going into, a Giants game where we don't need much, but really going into the playoffs. It just looked like a well-oiled machine. I want to continue on that trend, and I believe that we will. Yeah, I mean, and go chase this ring, man.
Most definitely.
Real. Just touch on a quick injury report before we move into the offense. Although Kenny Pickett did come back out of the locker room, he had went in with a rib injury, which he had started the game with, but was not able to finish. I want to see how severe that injury rib is, if he will play in this Giants game, or do we see more Tanner McKee along the way? But something to keep an eye on, just because, as all Eagles fans know, QB2, we put a lot of emphasis on that. You know what I mean? Like we love our quarterbacks here. It's a QB factory, low key, for real. But offensively, what you see, bro?
So offensively, as I stated before, first off, I want to give kudos to the coaches. The coaches did a phenomenal job. It wasn't too much to take away from the coaches. Like I said, the coaches had the boys prepared, even though we knew Dallas is having its issues this year, and we love to see that because Dallas sucks. But Dallas sucks.
Dallas sucks! Dallas sucks! Dallas sucks! Dallas sucks! Dallas sucks! Dallas sucks!
But yeah, the only criticism that I can take away was when Sirianni punted the ball in the first quarter with 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the first quarter from our own 46. I thought that Nick Sirianni was going to be more aggressive, but of course, from last week when we played the Commanders, he kind of had those flashbacks and things like that, and especially having Kenny Pickett come in, he didn't know how the game's momentum was going to go. So punting the football, it probably was the right decision, but I thought he was just going to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of getting the offensive rhythm, especially after the first possession when we went 3-and-out. Again, we always say no self-inflicted wounds because I was kind of upset at the first play of the game for our offense because we got a false start, obviously putting us behind the sticks. You always want to win first and second down. You don't want to be behind the sticks. So that 1st and 15 didn't help our situation. So I can kind of see the reason and the hesitancy of Nick Sirianni not going for it on that call. But other than that, he did a phenomenal game, knowing the situations, knowing the momentum of the game, the in-game coaching decisions. He was great and immaculate at. I also want to give credit to Kellen Moore for being aggressive, asserting dominance. We know with the backup quarterback, usually you want to run the ball heavy. You obviously we have Saquon in the backfield, so you want to get that ground game started. But I like the fact that Kellen Moore was very creative with the offensive scheme. He had a variety in play calling as well as formations. So, like I said, I want to give credit to the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. Now to the offense. Kenny Pickett had a great game. He bounced back in a major way from last week against the Commanders. As we all know, he didn't have his best outing last week. He came in this week. He was decisive. He got through his progressions, his reads. He took what the defense gave him. And then when he saw it was single high safety, he's taking his deep shots, as we said in the prior video. Again, no turnovers was key to Kenny Pickett. I like the fact that he was standing in the face of pressure, delivering from the pocket. I know Michael Parsons got a few hits on him and rattled him up, like you said, with his rib injury and things like that. But I like the fact that Kenny Pickett looked ready to play this game. He definitely looked ready to play this game. But with that being said, we can't forget to mention the offensive line. That's why Kenny Pickett had the opportunity to pass the ball and the time that he had to pass the ball. The offensive line played a phenomenal game, pass blocking and run blocking. They were displacing people. It was good to see communication on their part, especially from last week. We were missing some checks. We were missing some calls. I like the fact that we didn't have a lot of false start penalties because of Kenny Pickett's cadence. So they really took this seriously during that week of practice to understand Kenny Pickett's cadence, because for you all who don't understand, cadences vary in a lot of different ways between quarterbacks. So to have understanding of how your quarterback is going to call the cadence and then snap the ball, that was a great thing to see from our offensive line. And some people on the offensive line who I want to shout out: Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, especially those boys, because I saw a lot of pin and pulls. I saw a lot of dismantling of a defender. I saw one play where Mailata pulled and put Eric Kendricks into 2025 before 2025 even came. And then it was one play where they pinned and pulled and Cam Jurgens came around when Saquon ran to the left, and he was blocking three defenders. He resembles Jason Kelsey to me in a way, and we kind of knew that from when he played in the preseason games when we first drafted him. I sometimes even was like, is that Jason Kelsey? And I had to look at the number and be like, no, that's not Kelsey. Kelsey's 62. Cam Jurgens is 51. So just to see him take that next step and to get comfortable in this role, taking over for a legend, he has done a phenomenal job taking over the center duties. But like I said, the offensive line did a very, very nice job. Now, want to go out to the receivers. When you got AJ, Swole Batman, and you got Devontae Smith, skinny Batman out there, you got your shiny toys out there. You gotta give them the opportunity to make plays. And when you give them opportunity to make plays, you see what happens. Smitty came up with 2 touchdowns on a day. AJ came up with 1 touchdown on a day, throwing the ball in the stands. You know, he likes to punt the ball sometimes. I know at practice he punts the ball after he scores. So AJ might want to get into the punt, pass, and kick competition because that's something that he thrives in for sure. But Smitty, I like the fact that he bounced back from last week's drop against the Commanders. You see, a lot of people always want to talk about Devontae Smith being a number 2 receiver. We know in our heart that he can start and be a number 1 receiver on a lot of NFL teams. But just to have him in the fold and being an AJ shadow, he doesn't possess any hate. He doesn't possess any negative traits. He just goes out there and does what he does, especially on that deep ball when he just flew past Andrew Booth. We told y'all, if Andrew Booth from Clemson is out there, go at him. He's the weak link in that secondary. So I like the fact that we were able to air out the football and get chunk plays. And like I said, just converting third downs and keeping the chains moving. And now to Saquon 2K, my final take on the offense, Saquon 2K. I noticed again. Thank you, Giants.
I'll make a couple of calls. I don't even know if that's gonna happen, but
I have a tough time sleeping if Saquon goes to Philadelphia. I'll tell you that. As I've told you, just being honest.
I heard some of you were having trouble sleeping, so I wrote you a lullaby. Rockabye baby, awaken your bed, as the thought of 2000 swirls in your head. It sure is tough to lose sleep over football. Not for me, though. Good night to you all.
Thank you for letting Saquon Barkley come to Philadelphia. He has revitalized his career in a way that we've never expected. I know before the season started, we predicted Saquon to break records. We didn't expect him to be in a conversation of potentially breaking the NFL all-time leading rushing record. I know where Saquon thrives is in the zone blocking scheme, in the inside zones, the counters, where on the one play where he did break his the 2,000-yard mark, it was only fitting. It was the same play that we ran against the Redskins, against the Commanders, when he ran that 70, 80-yard touchdown. So it was the same concept. I like how we use pin and pull because we do have all 5 of our offensive linemen can pull. But it's just amazing how Saquon being 6'2", 230-ish, his vision, his burst, his balance, Saquon knows how to run the football. With him, Jeff Stoutland on our offensive line, anything is possible. So I'm proud that Saquon got an opportunity to showcase his talent to the world again. From people knowing him in New York, he's put himself on a different platform and pedestal here in Philadelphia. And again, congrats to him reaching 2K. This is a small fish to the bigger fish that we're going to fry. And Saquon just being so humble, real quick before I wrap it up. Saquon being just such a team player that he is, he was asked about potentially sitting out this week against the Giants and not getting the opportunity to break his record. So Saquon literally, and I quote, he said, "It kind of would have been a full circle moment to break the record against the Giants. But at the end of the day, it wasn't in God's plan. I've got bigger things in mind, and we got a chance to rest and get ready to roll for the playoffs." He's the head coach for a reason. He makes those decisions, and whatever decision he wanted to make, I let him know, if you let me play, I'm going to go out there and make sure I get it. And if I don't, I am okay with that too. For a person to be of the caliber that Saquon Barkley is, just speaks volumes to how much he's team first. A lot of people with these type of stats and accolades, we've played on teams like that, big bro. It's me. It's I did this. Saquon is a team player first and foremost. He's become the leader that we've strived and asked for on the offense as well. I know we have our QB1. I know we have QB1. I know we have AJ Smitty, Lane Johnson. But to have another person of that caliber to come and be a leader in that locker room speaks volumes. And I'm just happy and proud that he is a Philadelphia Eagle because
No, no doubt. It was definitely say 2K's day, bro. For sure. Like you said, congrats to the player, bro. Congrats to the coaches, the teammates, everybody. Because although if they do go for it in this last game, he will get the award. It is an award that is almost for everybody there, everybody who has participated in helping him reach that. Just a little bit of stats on the day. He had 31 carries for 167 yards. As he started off a little slow, but as the game progressed, he really picked it up in that second half, as he's really done all season. You could tell that there was a clear commitment to kind of get him the record, with 24 of the 29 plays in the second half being run plays. So they were really trying to give him an opportunity to maybe break it or get as close to breaking it as they could in this game. You know, Barkley on the season, over 2,000 yards, first running back to ever do that. You talking about rushing yards in Eagles history for real. Right now, he's 101 yards shy of breaking the record, which he's averaging, I believe, close to 130 something yards a game. So if they do play him, although if they do play him, I don't expect him to play him the full game in the Giants game. There's a possibility that he could get that in the first half if we really lean into it. It's not obtainable or unobtainable at this point, truly. But as you have mentioned, also, I like that we were a little bit more creative with the run game. You know what I mean? We came out with some different blocking schemes, just some different run concepts in general, especially playing the backup quarterbacks. You saw a lot of outside zone, inside zone, trap plays. Like it was a little bit of everything. 23 of the runs had come from under center or pistol, 19 from shotgun. That was 45% of the runs coming from shotgun, which is a little bit below their season average of 54%. So I don't know if that was just due to, like I said, us having the backup quarterbacks in, or truly trying to get him to that record. We changed up our running schemes just a little bit, but Saquon's day is clear, or it's going to be the highlight. We all know he's really on his way to becoming chasing greatness, becoming one of the greats. But the backup quarterbacks for me, chef's kiss to you all. You know what I'm saying? Especially as you have mentioned, Kenny Pickett last week on some spot play. It wasn't his best day. Did some good things, did some bad things. Versus the Cowboys, he was 10 of 15 for 143 yards, 9.5 average, had a touchdown through the air, touchdown on the ground, tush push. Hey, the tush push works. You know what I'm saying? Like it was good to see them get back to that identity, especially after not doing it last week when he entered. He had another rushing touchdown on the ground, so 2 touchdowns on the day. Like as you mentioned, decisive. The line gave him opportunities, step up into the pocket, find Smitty, find Grant Calcaterra, who had a very big play to really put us on our way to going up 14-7.
On that China out.
Yeah, bro. 34-yard grab. He's falling, bobbling, one hand type. It was really good throw. Really, really, really good catch. Everybody was stepping up. You know, Kenny came in, rib injury. Cowboys made it an emphasis of we're going to hit him. Anytime we get an opportunity, we're going to hit him. Let's get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? And they did. They got him out of there. But what they weren't expecting was for Tanner McKee, second-year player, to come in slinging that rock. Okay, that's what they weren't expecting. There was no drop-off whatsoever when our third quarterback or second quarterback for this game entered the game. Tanner went 3 for 4 for 54 yards, 2 touchdowns, over 156 passer rating, 13.5 average. He came in. There was no fear in Tanner, and I love that. He saw AJ, threw it up once to AJ. Crazy grab by AJ. Crazy. It was out of bounds, but crazy one-hand grab by AJ on the pylon, right? Mm-hmm. Dog catch. He's a beast. I was like, all right, cool. We didn't get it that time. I'm going right back to you, though, brother. Threw it back up. AJ, little back shoulder boy, grabs that joint. Touchdown, right? He knew where to go with the rock. So he finds him on a 3rd and 8 for his first NFL touchdown. As you mentioned, AJ being AJ, chucks that joint 50 rolls into the stands. Now he's having to negotiate with a fan. Luckily, it's a brotherhood, it's a family in Philly. My man understood the assignment. He's like, I got you, bro. I got you. Don't even worry about it. You feel me? AJ's like, I'm gonna get you a signed jersey, hook my man up, right? Got Tanner's first game ball, but quarterbacks had went in. They were 197 yards on the day, 3 touchdowns through the air. It was just a really efficient day. And as you also mentioned, you could tell this team was coached up, more prepared maybe than I've seen them truly all year. And I know maybe that had to do with QB1 being, I was like, hey, we got to make sure these boys know where things are. Blocking assignments, reads where people are going to be, showed out. Smitty had 6 grabs for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. PFF had him ranked at a 90.5 grade. AJ, 3 catches, 36 yards, touchdown. Physically imposing. Grant Calcaterra, we talked about him. The O-line displacing people, as you mentioned. Per Pro Football Reference, they lead the NFL in yards before contact with 3.8 yards. 3.8 yards, which is the best in the NFL since 2018. So before Saquon, Kenny, Jalen, in some instances, and that's Kenny Gainwell I'm talking about. Before these guys even take off and get the running, I'm 4 yards in. So I'm guaranteed 4 yards every time I run the ball. Guaranteed. So then you add that you have these elite runners. These aren't average runners. You know what I mean? 2,000-yard rusher. Okay, chasing greatness. Jalen, we know what he does. KG, when he gets his opportunity, makes plays. Hey, how can we not be the best rushing offense in the league? And you're averaging 4 yards before contact. Mm-hmm. This offense is dominant. You can tell when all things are oiled up and running smooth, they're unstoppable, truly. And we're healthy, they are unstoppable. They just opened up the 21-day window for Dallas Goedert, so we'll get him back. So we'll get even more explosive. We continue on this trend of trending upward. Everybody really diving into what we do, believing in the culture. Hey, we will run through the playoffs. I don't see a defense that truly could stop us down moving forward, truly. Mm-mm. So,
not at all, bro.
No, not for truly. I'd probably say the best defense we may face, maybe the Vikings, possibly, Mm-hmm. And we've seen they could be had too. Mm-hmm. Like straight up. So I love what I saw to everybody, coaches included. Great offensive outing for sure.
Yes.
Moving on, defensive side, kick it off. What's up?
Come on now. Defense, man. What's understood don't need to be said, bro. Look, defense came out there playing with their hair on fire. I love the fact that we literally, on the first possession of the game, first drive of the game for Dallas, CJ, look, man, he got kicked out last game. He came in here and said, look, I'm not going to let my brothers down again. I'm my brother's keeper. You saw he played the robber role. He passed Jake Ferguson off, stepped in front. I forgot who the receiver was for Dallas, stepped in front, boom, took it back 70 yards. That right there set the momentum and a tone, and we kind of knew what type of outing this was going to be against Dallas from that play. And another thing, because CJ had 2 interceptions, the second one I feel literally set the game up and got the game in hand, because once he made that second interception, the one with him and Quinyon back there when Cooper Rush just threw the ball up, on our offense, we literally came. I'm only going to go back to offense for a little bit, because I feel like this, like I said, was the momentum change for the whole game. After that second interception from CJ, I like the fact that Kellen Moore came out and ran the ball, because usually, we play defense, Huss. You get a turnover, what's the first thing you do on offense?
Shot play.
Take a deep shot. What did Kellen Moore do with 40 seconds? He handed the ball to Saquon, caught Dallas off guard. He picked up 15 yards. But then on the very next play, what did Kellen Moore do? Took a deep shot to Smitty. So it worked hand in hand. So that was something that I love to see. But the defense overall, back to the defense. The defense overall, I can't say enough. I know we didn't have the best start. We bent, but we did not break. I know the Cowboys were moving down the field on the first two possessions. I know, like I said, they got into not like the 40-yard line, our 40-yard line, until CJ intercepted the ball. And then on the second drive, they drove down and then scored the touchdown to Tolbert on Quinion on that fade ball. But overall, I can't say enough. The defense played phenomenally, whether it was the defensive line, the linebackers, to the secondary. Everybody played a part in this win. The defensive line, I have to give credit to Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Moro Ojomo, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, even Bryce Huff got some action in there. But our defensive line continued to get pressure, push the pocket, and collapse the pocket on Cooper Rush. I know we didn't get that too many sacks. We only had one sack. I think it was a split sack between Thomas Booker and I forgot the other player. It was Thomas Booker and somebody else. But we got the one sack. But what I do love from the defensive line is they always teach you as a defensive lineman, if you can't get to the quarterback and get a sack, the next best thing that you do is put your hands up into the passing lane to affect the pass.
Trotter Jr.
Jeremiah Trotter. There we go. You're good. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Thomas Booker on a sack. But the defensive linemen, when they couldn't get home, they put their hands in the passing lane, batted the balls now. That's what I love to see from the defensive line. They were at it all day. It didn't matter if it was the starters. It didn't matter if it was the reserves that came off the bench. They were getting after Cooper Rush all day and made him feel uncomfortable. I don't know what it is, but we do know what it is. When Cooper Rush plays the Eagles, he loses. He's 0-3 now against us. He does well against all the other teams. He just had a solid game against the Bucs last week. But when he ran into Philly, he came across that defense and didn't know what to do. So kudos to the D-line. Zach Bond, another phenomenal game. He was all over the field, whether in pass coverage, whether in run defense. He got the ball. He stripped the ball on Jake Ferguson. The one play when Oren Burks wrapped up Jake Ferguson, Bond punched the ball out. Then Jordan Davis, I don't know, bruh. I don't know how strong you are, my man, bro. But the fact that you was under the pile and it was two Cowboys offensive players under the pile with you, and you grabbed the ball with one arm and held on to that fumble, that is amazing to me. All right, that was spectacular. But I like the fact that our reserves, Oren Burks and Jeremiah Trotter, came in. They played a great game. For them not to be starters, for them not to have many reps, especially filling in for a player of Nakobe Dean's status. We know what Nakobe Dean has done all season. For them to fill in, they played remarkably. They knew their assignment. They understood their lane, their rush lanes and pass integrity. They were getting the running back. Well, Rico Dowdle had an okay game. He went over 100, but for them, like I said, to come off the bench and not be a starter, they did a phenomenal job. So I want to give them kudos. I did notice with Nakobe Dean being out, though, we didn't run a lot of 5-man fronts. And that might have been a reason why Rico Dowdle did have a solid game. But overall, the front
didn't.
Yeah, yep. But overall, the front seven had an amazing day. Now to the secondary. Big play Slay did what Big play Slay did. He had that one catch against with Brandon. What's his name? Brandon Cooks, I think, on the second drive when they converted the third down, and then he got called for holding. But after that, Big play Slay was Big play Slay, and shout out to him. Happy birthday to him. By the way, happy belated birthday to him and actually to Zach Bond. They both celebrated birthdays over this past week. Yep. But CJ, like we said, I already touched on him. CJ doing CJ things, man. He came back with a vengeance after getting kicked out. Shout out to him for winning the defensive player of the week. We see how much CJ means to our team. From the first year he was on our team, our defense was upper echelon as we are now. Then when he left and went to Detroit last year, we kind of saw our defense drop off a little bit. And then once he came back into the fold, it rolls back to the defense that we know. CJ, again, we underestimate how vital he is to our defense, but he gives just a life, and he just gives us a spark on the back end. Reed Blankenship had another solid day out there. He didn't make a big splash play, but Reed is always in position and knows his assignment and makes the play. Now, the one big thing I want to talk about in our secondary was Quinyon. Now, I know Quinyon hasn't been targeted a lot over these past few weeks. A lot of quarterbacks haven't thrown his way. But it just seems like since last week, since we played the Commanders, some offensive coordinators and coaches have looked and see a little flaw in Quinyon's game. Now, Quinyon, as we said, is going to be a bona fide corner, bona fide number one for years to come here in Philadelphia. But it's some things where when I was watching the tape, because his technique, it's some that he gets baited on double moves. A lot of times they'll run the stutter and go, or they'll run the comeback and then get him set up for a double move. He just has to work on his technique because it was one play in particular where if Cooper Rush didn't miss the go ball to 83 on the sideline, that was a house call. Quinyon was beat. CJ came over to help, but he came over a little too late. If that ball was spot on, if we're playing a better quarterback, that's possibly a tie down. So that's something where I kept a mental note, and we want to bring that to the forefront, because we're not going to always be playing a Cooper Rush. You see what I'm saying? Especially going into these playoffs and going to the Super Bowl, we're not going to play somebody of a Cooper Rush caliber. So that's something that we want to keep an eye on. Also with Quinyon, he did give up that fade ball to Jalen Tolbert, but the crazy thing is it was a run play with Dallas. They checked out of the run play and like the matchup with Quinyon over there to run the fade ball to Jalen Tolbert. Quinyon was in perfect position. I just wish that he played the ball better, because if he played the ball better, he could have broke that pass up. But these are things that you're going to grow and learn. You see what I'm saying? The more and more reps that you get, he hasn't got the ball thrown his way again, like I said, in the past few weeks. So he's over there going through the motions. Now that people are testing him, this is going to wake him back up to make him get back on his dean and make him focus back. But that's one of the big takeaways from the game. Like I said, just the deep shots on Quinyon. This is the second week in a row that this has happened, that he has given up deep shots. So I'm not saying, oh, sound the alarm, but this is something that we do have to watch and monitor going forward.
No, absolutely. As you just said, man, really the past couple weeks, they're testing a young bull. And let's not get it twisted. He's had an outstanding rookie campaign this year. Okay, he's gonna be one of them ones if he's not already. But he has been playing with, over the past couple weeks, maybe a few weeks, the technique has not been what it was to start the year. I kind of attribute maybe a little bit of that being, well, yes, one, he's still a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I feel like he's chasing interceptions. He's trying to get that first one. And when you start chasing interceptions, you're going to start playing with poor technique, because you're going to start doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Hey, fam, don't worry about the interceptions. They will come. Trust me, because you're always where you need to be. Focus on your craft, because they're starting to see you're sitting on stuff. You're sitting on routes. Don't sit on anything. Play your man. Know your assignment. But yeah, I expect him to get tested as we start progressing through the playoffs and everything else. So be on your dean. Do what you're supposed to do. Am I concerned? Not to say the least. He's him. You know what I'm saying? He's getting a little bit frustrated that he hasn't popped that cherry yet.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, him or Slade really have interceptions right now. Everybody with interceptions on the defense are safeties and linebackers. So, but he'll be good. CJ Gardner-Johnson, phenomenal day. Played the whole position, you know what I mean? Perfect. Like I said, pass up on the one guy, read the quarterback's eyes, jump number 2, 68 yards, 78 house call. Good. Other one. Honestly, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember the play right, CJ really wasn't even supposed to be in that position. He was supposed to have been dropped down and almost like a hook curl flat zone kind of position.
Mm-hmm.
Trusted what he saw, bailed on it, put himself in a good position for interception number 2. He has really been the juice on the back end that this defense has needed, especially coming off last year. We didn't have that energy. We didn't have that guy who's going to get up on your face and, mix things up, regardless of who you are. You know what I mean? He's just what this defense has needed. He really showed his value in this game and what he brings, especially after last week getting bounced. You know what I mean? Not the best game from a mental perspective. He was our highest graded Eagle per PFF with over a 94 PFF grade. He had a really solid game. Didn't show up too much tackle wise, but on the passing end, really liked it. I could say he really transitioned from playing that nickel role to safety seamlessly for real. You also talked about the run defense. The run defense was all game. I could attribute some of that to Nakobe Dean not being there. He's one of our better run defenders. Mm-hmm. You could just tell sometimes, even though Ornberg had a forced fumble, it honestly played solid overall when he was in there. Him and Jeremiah Trotter both really did their thing. But Nakobe, he diagnoses things a little bit better. He shed the blocks a little bit better. When he's coming downhill, he attacks with his hair on fire for it. And you kind of missed that. Ornberg was out of position a couple of times and run fits, allowing from some of these, I don't want to call them explosive runs. He didn't really have a long run like that, but some of these longer runs, the ones that went over 5 yards and things of that nature. But as the game went on, we got a little bit better at it. Like I said, as you mentioned, we didn't run too many 5-man fronts. I do think that's attributed to the Kobe Dean not being there, because a lot of times in that 5-man front, Zach Bond would be that 5th man on the line of scrimmage, and you would have your green dot wearer in the Kobe Dean man in the middle of that defense. I don't think they trusted the young guys to really be in that position. So we had to switch some things up. But overall, this defense is allowing less than 5 yards per play. This is the only defense that has allowed less than 5 yards per play. We are the best defense in the league. 4 takeaways in this game, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. We have 22 forced fumbles on the year. That's first in the NFL. If we had jumped on some of these other forced, we probably have around 30 or so, truth be told. We missed a lot of forced fumbles that we had caused as far as not getting them back. We talked to Oren Burks, Jalen Carter, the batted passes. He has 6 batted passes on the year. I believe that leads the NFL from interior defensive linemen. If I can't get to you, get them big paws up. And we have some big men on that front line. Get them paws up. Getting them lanes disrupted a little bit. You're seeing that a lot. Milton Williams, please, he's another one. Pay him. Do not let him hit the market like we did with Hargrave. Please pay him for real. He continues to be disruptive. He truly does. He is one of the best interior linemen when it comes to pass rush win rate. CJ's first interception can be a lot attributed to him getting in the face of Cooper Rush, beating his man early. He has just really grown from his rookie year. There were some, I don't want to say questions, but maybe everybody wasn't on board. We first drafted him out of La Tech, but he has really grown into the one of the better defensive interior linemen in the NFL. Nolan Smith, we talked off camera. We like to, and we talk about Jalen Carter. He shows up every game. Nolan Smith, especially since this bye week, has made a splash play every game now. He continues to show up. You could tell that he's getting comfortable in the position, but not only in the position, getting comfortable in this scheme. Mm-hmm. That's allowing him to use his athletic ability to now just make plays. And then you have the athletic ability just with the sheer hunger and love and passion of the game. uh, he's showing why we chose him in that first round. He continues to progress. This defense, especially when healthy, is the best defense in the league. I'm not gonna say one of the best defense. It is the best defense in the league.
Flat out.
It is not just it's not just one level. It's the defensive line, it's the linebackers, it's the back end. They play in unison. The communication seems to always be there. And then you just have the sheer effort. I love this defense. As much as I love the offense, I might love the defense a little bit more.
Hey, Big Hus, what Jason Kelsey say? It's the whole team.
It's the whole team.
It's the team. I swear it is, especially coming off of last year. This is just a complete turnaround. It's really great to see.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
truly is.
to your point, real quick, Big Hus, about the takeaways, per Rube's observations, this is the first time since 1999 the Eagles have had at least 9 takeaways in a 2-week span. They finished 1999 with 7 against the Patriots and the Rams. So that's another history fact that this defense is elite.
Mm-hmm. They're balling. 9 takeaways in 2 weeks is crazy. Shoot, not being funny, you get 2 takeaways in 2 weeks. It's like, all right, bro, we producing. 9.
Some teams don't have 9 takeaways in a whole season, bro.
man, it's not. It's the interceptions. It's the forced fumble. It's the accumulation of it all. Since the bye week, we've talked about this in previous videos. You can tell that there is a real emphasis that they go over and practice on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis on forcing turnovers. We want to get to this rock however we can. Everybody's punching at the ball. Everybody's trying to get an interception or their first interception. It's just everybody is locked in. This defense is hungry. They continue to play fast, aggressive, bully ball. Like complimentary ball. The offense played well, defense, special teams, vice versa, and on down. This was a very complimentary game for this team. Going into special teams was solid, bro. They were good.
Yes.
Way better than last week.
Mm-hmm.
We could maybe attribute a lot of that to Jake Elliott. I mean, he did well just when kicking 2 for 2 in the field goals, 5 for 5 extra points, but they had him doing kickoffs this game. Something we hadn't really seen this year. It seemed to have made a difference. Cavante Turpin didn't really get off, and we know how electric and lethal he can be with his hands on the ball. The kickoff team was good. The punt team was good. It was just overall a really good day for special teams.
Like you said, bro, to add on to your point, overall phenomenal day from the special teams. Michael Clay had them boys ready to play. Again, they played complimentary football. I know we pined and called for Jake Elliott to take over kickoff duties in the prior video. And like you said, with him being in there, it made a difference. I believe 5 out of his 7 kickoffs were touchbacks. Again, you know, I love Rube's observations and stats. So we all know Rube. We all know that Cavante Turpin is an amazing kick returner. So coming into that game, he averaged 34.4 yards per return. And on his 2 returns, he got a 26-yard return and a 22-yard return. But the crazy thing is, to put this all into perspective, is Turpin has the 2nd highest career kick return average in the NFL. I'm sorry, not in the NFL, in NFL history, only behind Hall of Famer Gale Sayers. Now that speaks volumes. And the fact that, like we said, we felt that maybe last week with the special teams, it kind of cost us because Washington kept getting short fields to work with. But with Jake Elliott coming in and taking over the kickoff responsibilities, we saw the difference where we had to make Dallas drive the length of the field, drive 70, 80 yards to try to get into position to score. So like we said, great job from Jake Elliott. Great job on his field goals, going 2 for 2, going 5 for 5 on extra points. I liked that Braden Mann on his first punt of the game pinned Dallas inside their own 10, causing them to get a 3-and-out on that. And then the second one, Kavontae Turpin just did a great job of acting like the ball was coming to him like a good punt returner does, and then faked out our punt coverage team and the ball bounced in. But other than that, like we said, the special teams played a complete game. I'm happy to see them back on track. What I really want to see, Big Huss, is just them continue to build off of this play and take it into this week's upcoming game against the Giants and into the playoffs, because like we said, special teams can win you and lose you games. They can win and lose you games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you hit it on the head, man. And then last thing, as far as all that goes, is Sidney Brown. Bro, I love the tenacity, the energy, bro. Protect your, bro. You feel me? I got you. But on the flip side, big dog, you gotta chill out just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's all about controlled aggression. We know you passionate. We know you feisty. You probably got a little chip on your shoulder because you like, bro, I'm trying to get some tick out here for real, for real. I understand. But you don't want to also be a detriment to your team for real. You know what I'm saying? They can't lose you. They need you on special teams and everything else. You are a key component in this whole machine. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to take that from your team. It'll be a selfish move by you and you'll regret it truly. So let's just play a little bit smarter. Let's not go for all the bait that the other teams will give you, trying to get you to, you know what I mean, be off your rocker and all that. Control the aggression. Do your job, excuse me. And just be smart, bro. Be smart. You're a good player, bro. We need you. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that, between me and you, I love that shit. you feel me? Keep it up. Keep it up. Just be smart, bro. For real.
Mm-hmm. For sure, bro.
Overall, great win, Eagles. Coaching staff, players, community, family. This was something to be proud of. It was a complete win. Whether Dallas was wounded or not, hey, we wounded too. You can only play who's on your schedule. Okay? We handle business, especially at home. So let's keep this momentum up. Keep this momentum up, man. We got it.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to your point real quick, Big Huss, like you said, yeah, Dallas is wounded. We're wounded as well. It always seems that when other teams are wounded, it's always a reason or excuse why they lost. But then when we're wounded or injured and we lose, it's, oh, well, you guys, it's next man up. You guys should have depth. You should have a backup. Look, like you said, it didn't matter that Dallas was wounded. We came in, did what we did. We knew it was a rivalry game, and we protected our home field.
Facts. And we have to just continue to do that for real. Continue to do that. Hey, go through these playoffs, handle business. We will be hoisting that Lombardi.
Yes.
Just stay true to who we are. And like Sirianni, as you had mentioned to start this video, you start this game, you start doing some things that you ain't typically do. I mean, you punting when you typically go for it. I love that you got back to the identity of who this team is, who you are. You know what I mean, the culture you've instilled here. Mm-hmm. Let's remember that moving through the games to come, because the intensity of these games and the media will ramp all this up. It's another game. Keep true to your identity, bro. You and this team will be going places, not only this year, but for years to come, truly.
Yes.
Hey, but to end a little bit and wrap this up, Happy New Year's to everybody. Truly, I pray that you all have a blessed year. This will be a great year for us all. Hey, stay true to your identity. Remember who you are. Yeah, and remember that you're blessed. Hey, we love you here. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Continue to be a part of this family.
Yes.
For real.
Yes. Great words, Big Huss. Again, I want to just echo that sentiment. We are truly blessed. Thank you all for being a part of our community. Thank you all for building this family with us. Just make sure that you are keep liking these videos. Make sure that you are keep leaving comments in the comments section, as we want to continue to interact with you all. Make sure that you guys are subscribing to the channel and become a part of this family. And make sure you aren't forgetting to turn on that notification bell, also known as that Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates.
For sure, for sure. Hey, go Birds. Y'all know the vibes. But if you don't know, I go by Big Husk.
And I go by Mr. Owns.
Hey, this is the Main Thing podcast, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Hey, till the next one, y'all have a great week, a great year. Let's get it. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.